I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, right? And I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but I think Stakeout Hyperfocus should be deleted from the game, and I would not care if it got deleted right now. You might get a biased take from me every now and then. I'm not a believer in perks that absolutely destroy gens in less than 3 minutes, like all 5 gens in a trial. I'm not a big fan of incentivizing that because it's the stigma attached to gen rushing, right? Most people know that when survivors play efficiently and they quote-unquote gen rush the killer, that is actually survivors using everything in their power to speed the game up as fast as possible. And they wonder why killers do the exact same thing on their side of the cart, right? Which is tunneling. So for a survivor, one person needs to be in chase, 3 survivors need to be on 3 separate gens. That is ultimate efficiency. If 3 gens are being worked on at all times while somebody's in chase, if the killer switches targets and they drop chase with that survivor and they go for another one, that survivor doesn't just mess around and go and open chests or heal in the corner. They go and sit on a gen as well with resilience. Those gens are just going to get smashed, right? We went through this last year. If a killer tries to speed their objective, it's frowned upon. You're a horrible person. You're evil, quote unquote, skull merchant behavior. You are all these bad things, but we will add more perks to the game for survivors to rush their objective. So if a killer rushes his objective, no, you can't do that. But if a survivor rushes their objective, which is the gens, that's perfectly fine because there's perks and items in the game that allow you to do so. I don't agree with that. I don't think we should be doing that. I don't think we should be going further down that path. I don't think we should be doing that whatsoever because it just creates the stigma that it's okay to gen rush because behavior gives us perks and items to do it. But it's not okay to tunnel because you just can't tunnel because you're a bad killer. You have to uninstall the game, Mr. Killer, because you're very bad. I'm referring to myself, by the way, guys. I think we did a pretty good job so far. I don't agree with that. You see, that's what I mean, chat. That's what I mean. So when devs add all of these kind of gen rush perks, gen rush items, wire spools, brand new parts, stakeout, hyper focus, all of these different things, that is telling survivors, oh yes, bring these, smash those gens as fast as you can, which everybody inside Dead by Daylight knows killers absolutely cannot stand because it feels horrible, right? It feels like you've got barely time to think or do anything. That's not respecting the killer's time whatsoever. But the second a killer starts to do the exact same thing and they tunnel somebody out to try and even the odds, everybody's like, why are you doing that? Why is the killer killing? That's not allowed. Why are we doing this? We got to penalize him. We've got to put penalties into the game now. The killer's been a bad killer. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think we need some more equality when it comes to this game, and I think we need to step back from rushing gens. And honestly, I hope to God, chat, that there's not a future coming forward for us where we get Decisive Strike base kit. And I know that might be a bit of a wild card out of nowhere, but do y'all remember back in the day when Borrowed Time used to be a perk that everybody would run because it was like meta, and then they basically got it base kit, and now Michael and Laurie are going to be leaving the fog, and DS is going to become a normal perk, a generic perk. Can you imagine if in the end they finally add Decisive Strike as base kit? That's going to be absolutely horrendous, and I hope to God they don't. If DS did become base kit, one, I think that the developers are smoking crack if they do, but if they do add it as base kit, in my opinion, we have to automatically extend the time to do gens. It just has to happen, because if you imagine the current state of Dead by Daylight with all the perks and gen rush add-ons and everything else that you can use with base kit DS, there is no way you can do that without upping the time to complete a gen. It absolutely has to happen. I hope to God they don't do it. But if they do, they have to change the gens. There's no way. Because you are essentially forcing the killer down the route of having to spread hooks. And if you're going to do that, that comes with the understanding that generators will be smashed. You absolutely have to extend them. Fun is always subjective, but killer is genuinely becoming so stressful. The amount of times I have to tell myself to calm down and be patient. Exactly, and that is something you're doing really well there, Owl Whisperer. You're doing really, really well. So just telling yourself and being your own comfort voice in the moment is very useful. Killer is extraordinarily difficult these days. It's very time consuming. It's very demanding. It pulls a lot. It asks so much from you. You're very busy. From the start of that match to the end, you are in complete control, and every single second you waste is a second probably you're giving to the survivors, right? It's a crazy thing. And survivors can have second, third, fourth chances. You might only be able to cost, like, if you go to the wrong place once, that could cost you the game. If you miss once or twice, that could cost you a chase. If a survivor is in the wrong place at the wrong time, they might have something that gets them out of that situation for free, you know? So it's very difficult. Don't beat yourself up, because killer is very taxing. It's a very, very demanding role. He'll get nerfed, probably. That's why I don't want to get my hopes up too much, gamers, because knowing behavior... Because here's what happens, chat, right? We get a new killer in the PTBs, right? We get a new killer, and all survivors go, oh my god, he's busted, he's broken. Do you want to know why they say that? They say that because they don't know counterplay, right? They haven't even... It's a new killer, right? With new powers. You're not going to know counterplay. You have to play against that killer a fair few times before you start to, like, connect the dots, right? Immediately, they're going to be going, nah, he's busted, nah, he needs nerfed, nah, too powerful. Right? And then he'll get nerfed, and then finally the survivors will learn the counterplay that was always there. So now you've got a weaker version of the release killer with the counterplay, and then survivors just run them for like 2 minutes at a time. Do you know what I mean? It's like killers aren't allowed to have fun, you know? With Krasu, Big Al, my friend, it's good to see you. Yes, exactly what happened to Krasu. To be fair, though, I will say, I think Krasu was slightly too overtuned, but I don't think she needed to be nerfed as fully. The only real issue with Krasu was that she could still go straight back after you because you still were infected when you got unhooked, right? I think everything else was fine. It's just because she was still infected when you got unhooked, it just allowed you to tunnel so easily. For each other survivor repairing a generator with you, the size of the good skill check zone is increased by 25%. Gens are fast enough, right? Hear me out. If this dev team was in touch with its community at its fullest right now, there would be a unanimous point to make that gens are already too fast in this game. I don't think we need to be adding anything else that encourages the speed of generators right now. If this carries on in this direction, we are going to get to the point where killers just do not stand a fucking chance. I'm fed up of seeing things that speed gens. I don't want to see you repair this amount faster all the damn time, man. There's already enough in the game. Like, we're just refreshing the same thing and adding more speed to the same thing. Buff killers tunneling then, because if you're going to buff survivors doing their objective even faster, buff killers tunneling at the same time because they need some kind of counterplay, man. We don't need any more gen speed builds. We don't need that. We've got enough. We've got enough. It's going to be abused to fuck. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I have to be honest. That's my out-of-box experience just reading this. I don't think we need any more gen rush perks. The weaker tiered killers already have a hard time keeping up. If they can go even faster, this shit is going to get beyond belief. This is too much. If we don't hate on it, how would they know it's broken? Oh wait, it's survivor perks. Of course we should just accept them. For those that are new, by the way, that have joined me recently, I am one of the streamers that, even though I'm in the partner program, I'm now an official creator that's partnered with Dead by Daylight. They knew my stance on this before they gave me this opportunity. They knew that I would criticize these things, and I do it not because I'm trying to give them a hard time. I'm doing it because I genuinely care about this game, so they know what they signed up to when they allowed me in. But I will never drop my values. If I think something is heavily lopsided or it's wrong, I will call it out. That is something I will always do, whether I've got that behavior badge or not. You'd think so. Yeah, Deathfang. I can already smell killer bots coming with how this game is going. And that'll kill the game. That'll kill the game. You see, the difference is, we can have a survivor bot, that's fine, right? Because that's one of 4. But if the killer turns into a bot, survivors will just DC. Do you know why? Because you can't bully a bot, right? Nobody likes that. Survivors, now, what's one of the biggest killers that survivors can't stand going against, right? You hear it a lot. Night, right? Survivors do not like going against Night. They think that the AI, being chased by AI, is so boring. Well, how do you think us killers feel when we wait 10 to 15 minutes for a killer game, only to show you guys that we're actually not that bad playing killer, and you all DC within the first 2 minutes of the game? And then we're expected to chase AI around the map whilst ever we want to play the game, right? So it's boring as fuck. If killers become bots, it'll die. I promise. At the end of the day, I think survivors, as much as they like to give killers shit, without killers, man, you won't be able to enjoy the game just as much as we want to. So, but it's kind of like, you know, and survivors say the same thing back to us too. They'll sit there and they'll say, oh yeah, but you're complaining about us running all these second chances, but you run gen regression. It's like, no, seriously, survivors, hear me out for a second. Just allow your mind to open just for the possibility of hearing something new out, and don't shut it down immediately. Care to actually learn something, not because we're talking down to you, but because we're trying to meet you in the middle. Gen regression is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. It's basically all we have left. It's like the last remnants of any chance we have at getting a decent amount of time in the game. And when things like this, we're getting even more perks that can rush gens and add time to the survivors and not the killer. We're just being we're being strangled, we're being choked because we don't have enough time in the game to do our objective, right? That's why killers will tunnel. It's most of the time why people tunnel. Sometimes people might tunnel because one survivor's giving them a lot of shit and they might say, okay, I don't care if I lose this game, I'm just going to get this person out, I want to prove a point. Sometimes they'll tunnel because they actually want to win and they know that they need to even the odds and make it a 3v1 rather than a 4v1. There's many reasons, but most of the time it's because the game's going too fast. There are multiple reasons why killers are frustrated, upset, or don't want to play. I feel this way with Survivor as well. Don't get me wrong, guys, there's plenty of pain points in Survivor too. Solo queues are hell, right? Solo queues hell. There's some people out there that can take solo queue. They love the variety of it. They love the stupidity of it. And don't get me wrong, I do too. I like solo queue in bite-sized amounts too. I can get some good brain rot from solo queue. Sometimes the most random shit will happen and you're just like, bro, this game is so funny, right? But then there's sometimes where it's just the worst experience ever. There's definitely problems on there as well. But I've always said, add a ping system behavior. You need to add something where survivors can communicate. It doesn't have to be voice calls. It doesn't have to be. But something that just allows you to press a simple button and so everybody knows on the team, okay, that person is going to go for the unhook and then there's no confusion. And you know what happens then? Naturally, the kill rates will go down ever so slightly because even solo queue will have a little bit more of an advantage, a little bit more balance. And then behavior must address killer balancing. They must bring killers up. They must buff them, right? I think that's what definitely has to happen. Like, I'm going to be honest. There are some people that genuinely like just doing gens, right? There's genuinely people out there that actually look forward to opening Dead by Daylight and just sitting on a gen and hitting skill checks. There are. I'm not going to discriminate, right? If that's what brings you to this game and you enjoy that, fair play. But if you also care about this game, you would be okay with not having that many gen rush abilities, right? Whether it's perks or add-ons, because you have to care about the overall game balance, not just yourself. Because that's the unfortunate thing. When I downloaded Dead by Daylight, I look forward to the horror icons, right? Michael Myers, Freddy, you've got all these cool-ass characters, right? I never thought about doing gens. I didn't really get excited about it, but I did get excited about, oh my god, that's fucking Michael Myers, you know? Like when I first downloaded DBD, oh my god, that's fucking Michael Myers. Oh my god, bro, this is crazy, right? And then, oh shit, he's coming for me. You know, like that kind of thing. It's like, oh, you know, it's really like, oh shit, this is cool, this is cool. I'm getting chased by Michael fucking Myers. This is crazy. And it's like, I never really got excited to sit there and be like, oh, skill check, ding. Oh, another skill check, ding, right? It's okay, and if that's what makes you happy, that's fine. But for me personally, chasing survivors or being chased by the killer is the most exciting part of this game. And I think it's where the most skill lies in the game. I think if you can become a proficient looper, and if you can become a proficient killer, that's like one of the best feelings, you know, when you can master that. It feels so good. It feels like you've earned something, right? Okay, right, let me quickly get through these. When the killer reveals your aura, you gain 1 token. When you have 4 tokens, spend all tokens and you and other survivors see the killer's aura for 15 seconds. This perk has a 10-second cooldown. Did they borrow this from the whole, like, last anti-tunnel build? We've got elusive built into a perk, and this allows you to see the killer's aura. Do you remember their proposed changes before, chat? They said that you'd be able to see the killer's aura when you got unhooked, right? I swear that's what they were doing. Has 11 just taken everything they didn't want to put into the anti-tunnel and they've just added it as perks into the... I mean, it won't surprise me, would it? Everything becomes a perk in this game. And we've got teamwork soft-spoken for each other survivor repairing a generator with... Oh, wait, no, that's the last... No, that is that one. For each other survivor repairing a generator with you, the range at which generator repair noise is heard is reduced by 25% while repairing... You repair 5% faster? The other one repairs 5% faster. What? Nah. Nah, you're smoking crack behavior. What the fuck is that? Right, so, hang on a minute. So, 2 survivors on a gen already is way faster than 1 survivor on a gen on their own, right? Okay, and then both of them have both of these new perks, so that's an extra 10%. And then if one brings Prove Thyself, that's an extra... And then what if the other one's got Resilience as well, and the... So you're telling me if you bring Stake out hyperfocus. One person brings prove thyself. One person brings teamwork full circuit. The other one brings soft spoken, and they both bring a brand new part and a wire spool. You are going to fucking destroy a generator. You are going to melt it. It's not even gonna, like, fuck that gen. Like, it's gone, right? And deja vu, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, gamers. I'm massively against that. No, behavior, no. No, we don't need any more of this shit. It's not an excuse neither. Just because you're giving the killer some extra gen regression perks and stuff like that does not warrant even more gen rush perks, bro. It's all, the gen regression is not keeping up as it stands with current gen rush builds in Dead by Daylight. There is no way we're doing this. Even for some killers, even for some survivors out there that are very interested in learning killer and to play killer, even those people are going to be put off from wanting to play it because it will be so disgusting feeling those gens go at the speed they can go at, man. It is a horrible experience. One of the worst sounds. It's PTSD inducing when you're playing a game of killer and all you can hear in unimaginable quick succession is generators popping left, right, and center. It is horrible, man. It's a disgusting feeling. We've already got enough gen rush perks in the game, right? And I'm sorry, turn back the clock is not going to counter everything else on its own. It's simply not going to do that. If anything, we need gen regression buffed again, not adding more gen rush shit. I'm so done with that. Don't get me wrong, I like the thematicness of it. Kit, I absolutely agree. If I can go over, even as D&D Vecna, if I can go over to a gen and be like, no, right? And I can pop that gen while the survivor's trying to, like, finish it right in my face, that would feel good, but it's 10%, man. There is some genuinely really fucking fun, amazingly thematic killers in this game that just get dogpiled, gen rushed to fuck, and get teabagged in the exit gate because they're just, by definition, weak as shit. I hate that, man. I hate that. Takes all the fucking horror away from the game. You know what I mean? It's just a bully simulator. It's a bully simulator. It's a gen rush bully simulator. That's what it is. It will be fast, possibly painless, definitely. Right, okay.